Welcome back, Grade 6, to Nelson Math, Chapter 11, Section 3, Volume of Rectangular and Triangular Prisms. So here we see an example of a rectangular prism. All of the faces are all rectangles. So I have here 6 different faces. But for today, we're looking at volume of these two prisms. The volume would be how much space does it take up? In other words, how many centimeter cubes would I need to make this structure? So imagine, if you will, for a minute that I go out and I get loads and loads of centimeter cubes and I want to make this structure right here. I would have to have in my bottom layer, for example, 6 rows of 12 each. So if I wanted to see how many centimeter cubes I needed, I would do 8 times 12 is 96, and then 96 times 6 is 576. So let's write that out now. 8 centimeters times 12 centimeters times 6 centimeters equals 576 centimeters cubed, like that. And if you knew the formula for this, then you would know that the formula for volume for a rectangular prism, which is made up of all squares like this, it would be the height times the length times the width. So that would be 8 times 12 times 6. We must make sure we take the correct dimensions here. If we don't take the correct dimensions, so say all of these sides were labeled. This height here is 8 centimeters. This length here is 12 centimeters. We can't just take any 3. We have to take the proper 3 dimensions, which in this case is height times length times width. So it's 8 times 12 times 6. For a question like this, because I'm not looking to see if you can do it with pencil and paper or mentally, you are free to use a calculator. So that means that we have this rectangular prism with a volume of 576 centimeters cubed. Let's look at this triangular prism for a moment here. Look at the triangular prism and please compare it to the various dimensions that exist. So let's go through them one by one. We have here the width, or rather the length here, let's start with the length, is 12 centimeters long. So from here to here, it's 12 centimeters. The height is 8 centimeters, and the depth, if we go from the base, is 6 centimeters. All of these dimensions are exactly the same as all of these dimensions here. So what do you think would happen if we filled this triangular prism in with the rest by copying this exactly and making another copy here? I would have a perfect rectangular prism that would be 12 by 8 by 6 centimeters. In other words, the exact same of this. However, if I make an exact copy of this and I put it over here, I'm doubling it. So if I can find the volume of the whole rectangular prism, I can cut that in half and get the volume of the triangular prism. And that's what we're going to do. So we have here the volume of this entire rectangular prism is 576 centimeters cubed. But that's the whole thing. I want only half of it. So I'm going to divide it by 2. So if I divide it by 2, I could do 576 divided by 2 equals 288 centimeters cubed. In other words, if you wanted to find a formula for this, you could write down volume of a triangular prism would be length times width times height, and then all of that is divided by 2. Right there. And that would be the formula when you have a triangular prism. You already knew the formula for the volume of a rectangular prism was just height times width times length. But today you know how to find the volume of a triangular prism, which is just half of its partner try a rectangular prism, which would be right here. And if you want to find exactly half of a value, you divide it by 2. So it's length times width times height, all of it divided by 2 like we did here. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.